people today, the industry will deny electrosensitivity exists. It does. And as a matter of fact, the symptoms are getting so strong, so prevalent, so immediate that whole families being exposed to 5G antennas right outside their homes are getting fully attacked, literally attacked, assaulted by this weaponry, this technology. And how is it a weapon? I will get into that in a moment. I'll show you slides. I'll show you the crime scene. I'll show you the faces and the agencies that are behind this, and also the history, the historical relevance.
Drew Fountain has a $20,000 meter that measures the RF frequency. An RF frequency over 20% can injure people. Over 100% can burn someone.
We're being exposed to various lengths of waves all at the same time. And what is so significant about this is that the width of the waves resonate with the size of your organs. So you're looking at Wi-Fi in schools. These kids are being exposed to 2-inch, 5-inch waves. That's perfect for the size of, brain. 2 inches, the eyeball, right? The kidneys, the testes, the ovaries, the reproductive organs, the heart. And then the millimeter waves are about 1/4 of an inch. Super, super, super high frequency. Complete, full absorption of all these waves, 95%. Full body exposure, almost 100% absorption. Let's talk about 5G, the technology itself. So 5G really is a quantum leap in terms of exposing our entire Earth to microwaves. It's not just introducing a handful of microwaves. The FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, which is supposed to be our regulatory agency here in the United States that designates which frequencies are allotted for industry to use. Well, they gave us permission, commercial industry, permission to use maybe about 10, each generation about 10 frequencies. That was first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation. But what's the difference with 5G? If you listen to Tom Wheeler's speech back in 2015, June of 2015, he introduces 5G and he says, we're opening up the entire microwave spectrum. That's 3,000 frequencies. 3,000 frequencies, and not just, every single one of these frequencies do not belong on Earth. These are frequencies that are blocked by our Earth's ionosphere, all the spheres, that goes on up. It's absorbed by, the molecules up in the higher stratosphere and beyond for a reason. As well as, on the opposite side of the spectrum, you've got, the gamma rays, right? That's also blocked. So the only sliver of electromagnetic radiation that reaches Earth is just visible light. And here we're criminalizing sunlight, but sunlight is what gives all life here on Earth. It is the only spectrum of energy that belongs on Earth. Everything else is xenobiotic. It does not belong. It's artificial. And whatever is artificial is life-taking. I have never met an electromagnetic radiation frequency that is life-giving. Have you ever read a study that says, oh, by the way, microwave radiation made this person think better, made this person healthier, made this person's heartbeat rhythm, stronger, and is it life-sustaining? Of course not. No, because it doesn't belong on Earth. So what did FCC, Tom Wheeler announce? He announced the entire bandwidth of entire frequencies. So what does that mean? So if there's 3,000 frequencies and each generation they introduce about 10, so I'm just kind of giving you an idea of really the quantum leap of what 5G really means. It's 297G, okay? And people are so sick from being exposed to the combination of 5G on top of 4G. People are already getting sick from 4G and 3G, but you are adding 5G, which is an unlimited numbers of frequencies because the FCC says we're going to increase, the world's opportunities by unleashing this. Now, why would any agency that's supposed to regulate our safety and our health do this? It just doesn't make sense, right? Well, I've been studying this for quite some time, and I always like to go back into history and figure out, well, this has to do with, this has to do with the early 1900s, and it has to do with the Internet of Things. Now, this is why the FCC has come up with so many myths, and they try to debunk real science. They try to debunk wonderful reports like the BioInitiative report of 2012. If you're not familiar with this report, please look into it. It's the best compilation of scientists who've come up with negative effects of exposures, and it ranges. The levels are so low. It's so low. I'm going to throw some numbers out here. In a bit, you might understand it, but the BioInitiative report basically says 6 microwatts over meter squared. Now, there's different ways of looking at the numbers, but I'm just going to use this because it's easy to quantify it. 6 microwatts over meter squared. All right, this is what the BioInitiative report, groups of reputable science based on peer-reviewed science, says is safe, all right, or is safer. They actually do not say it's safe. They say it is safer. Now, what do the FCC state? 10 million microwatts over a meter squared. They say at thermal levels, are there any biological effects? Well, we'll go into that some more later. But so 5G really should be called 297G. Is that it? Okay, there we go. All right, so here we go. So 5G, I know there's a lot of misconception. People say, oh, it's only millimeter waves. Well, because, as I said before, FCC says it's entire spectrum of microwaves. It's the low band, mid band, high band, the entire spectrum of 300 megahertz through 300 gigahertz. You're basically, it's the full range. So 2G, 3G, 4G had a limit, okay? The highest bandwidth, they started going higher and higher in frequency. 4G, 2.1, that's about what's coming off cell towers. 5G, now they're, FCC is allowing all kinds of bandwidths to be auctioned off, which is horrific. And it's being done right now while they're rolling out 5G. So here, microwaves fall within the radio waves, and the millimeter waves is that small bandwidth within the microwaves, the 30 to 300 gigahertz. And then 6G, I don't know if you guys are aware that they've also introduced 6G. They're not even finished rolling out the 5G, but people are already getting sick with 5G. 6G is the terahertz. Terahertz is, it rips apart your DNA. It's known to do that. There's scientific proof that it does. And they're using that for health products and devices, electronic equipment. That's where they're hoping to put the terahertz. That's where they're hoping. Part of the reason why I'm so excited to be here tonight is that most of you, or many of you guys, are health practitioners, and you're the perfect audience for me because there's a non-consent form that I would like to introduce to you that is so vital, so important, that healthcare practitioners need to be aware of. We heard many physicians speak about do not give your consent to any procedure you're not familiar with or you're not in agreement with. Same thing with 5G. People are fighting this, communities all across the globe. This is a global phenomenon. They are rolling this out like hotcakes. People, communities are fighting this at the local level, and they're saying, we do not give our consent. And they need to exercise their non-consent. And I will show you some ways of how you can do this. Okay, so why is it so bad that all these microwaves are hitting us? Well, microwaves penetrate our bodies, right? Okay, so you've got, let's say, the lowest bandwidth, which is a 400 megahertz. It's about 39 inches, let's say, about a yard. That's one sine. I hate to call these microwave sine waves because none of them are actual sine waves. But, to kind of give you a visual, one wave, 1 hertz is, one full wave, right? So 400 megahertz is about the width of this yardstick. And you're moving it down. 800 is what cell phone? 800, 900 cell phone. 1800 cell phone. So that's, 15 inches, 13 inches. That's about the width of the body. And then you've got the Wi-Fi, which is 2.45 and 5.8, and that's 5 inches to 2 inches. We're being exposed to various lengths of waves all at the same time. And what is so significant about this is that the width of the waves resonate with the size of your organs.